Yes, you read the title correctly. Delta Airlines is charging a premium for unvaccinated employees. It's like, we're gonna hold your job hostage. We're gonna really affect your ability to socialize. We're gonna affect your ability to gather your resources and maintain your livelihood and sense of comfort. I'm just like, this is giving very much totalitarianism. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle, but I'm also known as Miss Mystical Rose. Today I'm watching my current events segment on my channel. I also create videos to help you create your optimal life experience from the inside out. So if you feel inclined to subscribe, turn on your post notifications. That way you know whether it's a current events video like this one or whether it's something else that may support you on your life journey. Now let's talk about Delta. Today, NPR dropped an article and it says Delta Airlines will charge employees on the company health plan $200 a month if they fail to get vaccinated against COVID-19, a policy the airline's top executive says is necessary because the average hospital stay for the virus cost the airline $40,000. This is so crazy, y'all. I really this is wild, because at that point it's like, forget humanity, let's take the human element out of existence and just make money the master. We're gonna do things according to our bottom line and according to money. And it's like really sickening. The airline said Wednesday that it also will stop extending pay protection to unvaccinated workers who contract COVID-19 on September 30th and will require unvaccinated workers to be tested weekly beginning September 12th. Although Delta will cover the cost, they will have to wear masks in all indoor company settings. How is this legal? That's my question. And at a certain point, it literally feels like they're challenging us to flip all this shit over. Because it's like, really, like, how is this even allowed? We have literally been indoctrinated and given this blueprint of a system that's like, you have to work. Entrepreneurship is not promoted. It's not promoted here. So it feels like we've literally been conditioned to get on this wheel, this hamster wheel, run this rat race, working for these large corporations. And it's almost like it's been leading us up to this. Now we look at our jobs and the way we earn income from these large corporations, and it kind of creates this pressure cooker of a situation for the average working person. Because it's like, yo, this is my bread and butter. Like, what? It's really just like, oh, I hate it so much. It's really like an intimidation tactic at that point. And for me, it questions like, why are y'all so gung-ho about this thing? Like, why are y'all putting so much pressure about this vaccine? I mean, it's a complete violation of the Constitution, because part of the Constitution talks about individuality and sovereignty, and that is the freedom to make your own choices. And yeah, we have the freedom to make our own choice. We can say, no, we're not going to get vaccinated. But then when you put that against, okay, well, you're not going to do what we say, you're not going to get vaccinated, well, we're going to take your money, you're going to be poor. And we already live in a society that says money is the master, and if you don't have money, you're useless. So at a certain point, it begs to ask, is this even really a democracy we're in at this point? It's giving very much totalitarianism. And I'm sorry, listen. The article goes on to say this surcharge will be necessary to address the financial risk the decision not to vaccinate is creating for our company, Bastien said in a memo to employees. Hey, coming to you from the editor's booth. Look, this is my first time doing this type of video. Bear with me. Bastien is the name of the CEO. That's the CEO. His name is Ed Bastien. And yeah, I just wanted to add that in. Bear with me. I love doing this. I'm gonna get better. Mwah. At that point, it's like creating this subconscious belief, and it's planting it in the subconscious mind that money is the master. That screw humanity, screw compassion, screw personal freedom. It's like, it's all about money. We have to cover our costs. You don't want to get vaccinated? Okay, well, you're going to have to pay for that. This is like a bad episode of Black Mirror, fam, and I'm just like, wow. It's giving very much, tell me it's a mandatory vaccine without telling me it's a mandatory vaccine. It's like, we're gonna hold your job hostage. We're gonna really affect your ability to socialize. We're gonna affect your ability to gather your resources and maintain your livelihood and sense of comfort. I'm just like, this is giving very much totalitarianism. And before any of you try to say anything, I'm 30 years old. I've worked in corporate America for the last like over 10 years. I completely understand what the name of the game is at this point, and I just feel so bad for the people who aren't like me. I'm not afraid to jump out the window and be creative and look for other sources of income, but everyone isn't like that. We all haven't gotten to that place, and it's been drilled in our heads like our whole lives, like work, go patronize these companies. Like just recently, kind of, entrepreneurship has really gotten a lot of traction, and I'm so happy and grateful to be here for that wave. But a lot of people don't have the confidence to step out on faith like that. So what are we to do at that point? Because at that point, it's like, is this really a democracy? Or is this a totalitarian regime? And let's explore the definition of democracy and totalitarianism. And let's see which one this most feels like, okay? Now, when we look up the definition of democracy on Google, we have several definitions, but the one that I really like is actually the last one. Oh, look, opposite is tyranny, dictatorship. It's kind of giving that right now, sis. But one of the last one is the practice or principles of social equality. How is it socially equal to say we're going to hold your job and your livelihood over your head if you are not at a place where you're able to get your own resources and you have to come here to get resources to support yourself? How is that social equality? It's not. It's actually not. It kind of feels like the system has been set up to get us into this position, to be dependent on larger corporations. And it's really sometimes taken away our confidence and our belief in ourselves to branch out and do other things that we actually love and that hit us here from the heart and reach us. And it's really creepy. And it's honestly giving like fucking psychopathic vibes, like sociopathic vibes. Like I'm just like, what? Now let's look up what is totalitarian even mean. What is totalitarianism? Let's take a look here. Relating to a system of government that is centralized, dictatorial, and requires complete subservience to the state. Now, you have a choice. Let's be clear. You absolutely have a choice. But do you really have a choice when your life has been constructed to be so dependent on these larger corporations and these big groups? And it's like you become afraid because these big groups have become so much a part of your life. And it's such a big part of your survival. And survival is the name of the game. That's what we're all trying to do. That's why when there's a fly or a roach in your house or a bug, they're running. They're trying to survive. We all want to survive. And resources are necessary for our survival. If our entire structure of our government, if our entire structure of our world has been set up on going to punch a clock, paying bills, and basically recycling the money we're going to earn back into the hands of big corporations, we haven't been taught about entrepreneurship like that. We haven't even been taught about exercising and tapping into our personal power to even believe in our ability to follow our heart and do things that are maybe outside of the box, but that connect more to our heart's desire. That's not how our society has been set up, and it's really sad. So it's like, do we really have a choice? It's really like, ugh. Now, the last part of this article, we're told that a growing number of companies, including Chevron and drugstore chain CVS, announced they will require workers to get vaccinated after this week's decision by the FDA to give full approval instead of just emergency use permission to the Pfizer vaccine. Is it collusion? Did they have the FDA say, oh, it's fine, put that shit in your body, you're good, fam, like, do it, yeah, hang loose, fam. For the people who maybe aren't impacted by things like this, like mandatory vaccines, It makes me ask, do I want to patronize a company? Do I want to use my resources and give my resources to a company that says screw the human aspect of existence, screw humanity, screw moving in love, money is the master? We're going to do everything and we're going to base our ideals and how we treat people based on money. Like, do I want to patronize companies that do that? As a consumer myself, I've asked myself, will I be sharing my personal resources with companies that do this? And for me, the answer is very clear. So ask yourself that as well. Even if you're not someone who's impacted directly, even if you work remotely and you're not impacted by mandatory vaccines, really pay attention to the companies that are doing this and ask yourself, do you want to openly patronize these companies? Because at that point, it's crimes against humanity. And it's like, how is this even legal? And if you are someone who's impacted by this mandatory vaccine situation, first of all, I love you. I know that this is probably such a stressful time. I know it feels like you're in a pressure cooker, but at the end of the day, we have to agree on something. There is a problem. Like Houston, we have a problem, bro. Like, dog, like Houston, we have a huge problem. But if we don't break things down, we can't build it back up into a better situation and a better system. And I know it feels really scary right now, but what if this is the catalyst that we need to really knock all this shit over and build it up and build a system in a way that actually cares about people and supports people on their evolutionary progress in life? Because it seems that we have a very parasitic system. We have a system that takes from us, takes from us, takes from us, and not only our energy, but just our mental capacity. It takes our creativity away. It takes our passion in life away. So if you are someone who is in the throes of this mandatory vaccine situation, I know you feel scared right now. I know you feel worried. And here's what I have for you. Please listen to your heart. If you choose to get vaccinated and you really believe in it and you want to do it, do it. But if you're doing it out of fear and coercion, that ain't it. That ain't it at all. Now is the time to step out on faith, people. Maybe you've never done certain things before, but now is the time to explore other income options, other means of earning income that don't require you to sacrifice your personal liberties. Now is the time. And I don't care if you're atheist, you don't believe. I don't care what you believe in. Baby, I'm sending you light. You have got to understand, you have got an army of light around you. People like me exist all over the world who see what is happening and who are sending out the vibes that you need to have things work in your favor. So if you or anyone you know is impacted by this mandatory vaccine situation, you are covered and you are covered, and you have people of the light who are rooting for you, even if you don't know it, even if you don't want us to. So my hope is that you follow your heart in all situations instead of following fear and coercion. And please understand that you will always be provided for. Look into remote working options, look into other options, and start just asking yourself, what is my heart's desire anyway? Now is a really good time for introspection, because it has been proven to us that a lot of these systems that we think are for us are not for our personal liberty and our independence. And that's all I have for this video today. Please like, comment, share if you care, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. I love you. Peace, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.